All right, welcome everybody to this week's showing of the 2023 Fall Series GRC race here. We got Jackson, Glenn, and Cassie fixing to go live right now down on the oval track as we got that set up. A few new surprises here this week when it comes to racing. Got a couple new cams set up and just a few more surprises. We'll just wait and see how that turns out in the future part of this race. Nonetheless, we're going to go over to our main oval screen here and we'll see that everybody's ready. All right, racers ready. Watch your lights. We have fixed the issue with the track where that the track call button and stuff was causing issues. But nonetheless, with the track call buttons causing issues and stuff like that, we have fixed it with a timer underneath the track. And there's actually two timers going simultaneously and also a relay that's running in conjunction with that allows for about a 1/10 of a second delay to take place so that there's no double pressing of the button, so that we can instantaneously shut the track off and also keep the cars from destroying each other. So you can see here our new track angle here set on Dead Man's Corner here. Can now actually see some of the wrecks actually take place down there a little bit clearer. And you can also see Paul Woosley there helping with the track marshaling today. So we get our first wreck of the day here to the outside lane. That's Glenn Burden there off of Red Lane. Right before we started the software up to go live streaming, I ended up completely destroying one of my monitors. So that's going to be a little bit tough for me to be able to view some of the stuff that I'm used to viewing. So just bear with me as we go through this live stream. Nonetheless, I think we'll be all right and we'll be able to get through it. We can see Jackson right now out on White Lane in the lead as he's trying his best to reel in Glenn up there on Red Lane, going through the Dead Man's Corner there in the yellow car. Jackson, of course, right now leading the GRC series here at Lanes Raceway, and we are over halfway now, so drop-offs and stuff like that are going to start taking place. We do have a few things to show you guys just as soon as we hit break period here, and we'll look at those more in depth whenever this is over after we take a look at the track mate here in 17 seconds. We'll see Paul Woosley quickly getting Glenn Burden's car put back on there. 10 seconds left to go, and Jackson out in the lead as Cassie sends her car to the end of Dead Man's Corner, right into the wall off of the green lane. Cassie getting a whole lot better. As you can see, she's only one lap difference from Glenn. So we take a quick look over here at the track mate. We can see Jackson out in the lead by one lap, followed by Glenn Burden 47, Cassie 45, and Chelsea 44. Take a quick look at the current standings here for the GRC series. We see Jackson Darty out in the lead right now at the gold number one with 1,490 points. And of course, he does have all 15 of his races. So from here on out, we're going to start seeing that very little change between Jackson's score here. I think he only needs a few more races till he's pretty much solidified all 15 races at 100. We see Weston there in second place with 1410, tied with Carson Ross at 1410. Cassie Woosley in fourth place currently with 1,320. Of course, we got a few more people in the series, but right now, those are your top four. In our other series also, whenever we continue on in our other series and stuff, that will be top four also that we'll take a look at. And of course, we hope by week to week when we start dropping off some of those races that we'll actually see some of those positions change, because it is getting down to the wire. Holiday season's coming in and stuff like that also. It's all going to be pretty exciting when it comes to the end of the series. As always, we do have the chat up. Now, whether or not it's actually working, I tried to work on it a little bit the other day, but like I said, it's so up in the air a lot of the times. I just don't know. I'm going to try to get YouTube to go right now. Like I said, I'm using one monitor to try to look at the other because my monitor's broken here on the left side. So forgive me for that. I guess it didn't authorize it. What does it say there? There we go. Click on that. All right, now we're connected. All right, good. 19 seconds, we'll be going by green racing. We'll go ahead and take you to the cam 1 and 2 here. Or we might even start here with the bigger version of cam 2. You see Paul there hanging out in his chair, watching somebody run on the orange track. Let's see who it is on the orange track before we get started here. So Randy Kirtley running his wing car, it looks like. Jackson out of the gate, turning 50 laps so far. Minute 53 left in the heat, just getting her started. Glenn Burton right behind him with 51, and Cassie 50 right on Glenn's toes. Chelsea kind of falling back just a smidge there, 49 laps. We see Jackson up on the high side. Right below him, we got Chelsea, so he's going to have to try to get past her. He does so nice and clean, but on the inside of her is Glenn Burton on that green lane trying to make up some of those laps. And we can see that he is quite a bit faster than Jackson here, so he should be able to make up quite a few of those laps on Jackson and maybe take over that position as he's done so right now with 65 total laps on green. Below him, Cassie, 64 total laps on blue lane. She's down just a little bit lower. We can see Cassie now being quite a bit quicker and dropping off into the brake zone there and getting back into the trigger nice and smooth coming out of blue lane. Back in, getting a little bit out of control there through Dead Man's Corner there on blue lane. But other than that, running a pretty respectful 2.381 is her best lap time, the median of 2.41, which is about 1/10 of a second faster than Jackson currently. Glenn Burton running the best so far of a median of 2.36 and a 2.293 down on green. Even calling Jackson a little bit earlier this week and giving him a little bit of a hard time about how much faster his car was than Glenn's. So Glenn kind of scared Jackson a little bit, and Jackson even called me and was asking me, is Glenn really turning 2-second lap times up on red lane? And I was like, yeah, I don't think he's turning 2-second lap times up on red lane. For those that know, we do a 2-second cutoff breakout time here on the oval track for the GRC, so that's why he was kind of nervous. So we head over to the track mate. We see Glenn Burton getting a 3-lap advantage over Cassie currently. Cassie taking over Jackson by 1 lap this heat. So Jackson falling all the way from Grace on number 1 position all the way to 3rd. Chelsea pretty much out of the race so far. As we head over here to the man of the hour, the guy that's currently in the lead of this series, we see Jackson Daugherty, 2023 Little Rumble champion, rookie Rumble runner-up. And his current series standings in the 4 Crowns are this. The Fairview IT Cup Series, he's a 3rd place runner, top 3 podium finisher. GRC, he's, of course, 1st place, 8th place in the Wing Car Series, 7th place in the IndyCar Pro Series, and in the Late Model Series, he is currently 4th. For the total up championship status points, he's 5th place with points of 1,355. So you see Jackson there in the left holding his little Rumble check where he got 1st place there. Previous season got him about 6 months or so track time out of that. So pretty cool to see Jackson really holding it down yet again in the GRC series. Heading over to the pinball cam, we can see Paul Woosley there still relaxing, watching Randy Kirtley run his wing car. Wing car, of course, that series will be coming up next week. Going to head over to the oval and let you guys watch these guys work. I'll be back with you in about 1 minute and 18 seconds. right, the race is starting back about 5 seconds before we go back green racing as we see the F1 drop out of those 4 red lights into green. There on red lane, we can see Chelsea Kirtley. Down low, we got Cassie. She kind of struggles down low a little bit on the purple and black lanes. We'll see how well she smooths it out here as we can see her coming in there on the left portion of your screen on purple lane. Getting pretty smooth about 5 or 6 laps in a row. It seems like when people come up against her a little bit, she struggles a little bit in trying to accelerate out just a little bit quicker. So we see a wide open hit from Glenn Burden's car, just slamming the wall hard there off of blue lane. And we see Glenn there messing with Cassie's controller there. Nonetheless, Glenn Burden out in the lead by 3 laps to Jackson's 106, Cassie Woosley 104, and Chelsea Kirtley 96. If you are interested in birthday parties selections here at Lanes Raceway, you can see we got the VR here. We also have, of course, racing for the cars. We can set up races for you. We do that on a 2-hour basis package deal here at Lanes Raceway, where that if you get the package, you get free pinball for 2 hours, free VR, free track access to all 3 tracks, and you get about 30 minutes to set up. And it doesn't have to be a birthday party per se, but it can be a private event. So if you're interested in that, I know around the holiday times we end up selling quite a few of the package deals there. We'll make a post, and we want you to at least give us a call, at least within a week, so that we can make it known for people. Currently, Sundays are going to be very difficult until the first of the year to have a party on, as that is our main race day here at Lanes Raceway, where we run the 4 crowns. But other than that day, we're pretty open, and we can move some of the scheduling around. We see Jackson there at 128, turning a best lap of 2.388, a median of 2.43. Glenn Burden just right down below him, 2 lanes, running a median of 2.26, about 0.2 of a sec faster than Jackson. But Jackson keeping him within 1 lap so far here as we get the top 3 here, just within a couple laps, about 4 laps of each other. Cassie there, 136 to Jackson's 137. She's fighting to make something happen too, as we see Glenn Burden take another spill there on the track. We see Jackson's car kind of getting a little bit sideways as he drives it in and accelerates a little bit hard towards the middle of the corner, but he gets a nice coast there towards the end. And we can take a look here at the track mate, and we can see that Glenn Burden running back-to-back 51s there. Pretty impressive. 149 is his total laps to Jackson's 144, about 5 laps down. And Cassie Woosley 143. Chelsea Kirtley about 20 or so laps down. So, she's pretty far away there. I'm gonna leave you guys here with the current standings here, and we'll see if we might see some movement here. Of course, Glenn has quite a bit to move to be able to catch up with Cassie, but Cassie holding it down right now in 4th position here in the current GRC standings. We'll be right back with you just as soon as the racers are ready to go back racing. All right, folks. About 5 seconds, we'll be back green racing here. And we can see Chelsea there shaking, rattling, and rolling there with Jackson trying to conceal all of his identity there with his hoodie and hat from Lanes Raceway. As we see Glenn Burton's car coming to the outside yet again, and Cassie's coming off there towards the end also from a track call. Glenn Burton, your current leader. Jackson on his way down now. Jackson and Glenn will be neck to neck, side to side, just as soon as this heat is over with. They'll be both on purple and black. And we'll see a little bit more closer contact with our top two here. Cassie, though, right there within one lap. We'll see if she can get that pass here on Jackson. Jackson's right above her. She's dive bombs down low. She's about 2 car lengths back, and she comes off there, so she ends up losing a lap there. She's going to need Jackson to pop off so that she can take over that second position there. Getting a little squirrely there through the dead man's corner there, but she was able to save it. Her and Glenn both there, a little bit squirrely. She breaks a little bit too early there, but she comes off and she takes out her main competition, Jackson, there. She gets put back on, and Jackson short to follow. Taking down about 3 laps there, difference between the two. All I can say is highly impressed with Cassie's growth here at Lanes Raceway, especially in the GRC series. Now, I've seen her run some of the faster NASCAR Fairview IT Cup series, and I've seen her also run a wing car a few times. So, you know, she does have quite a bit of experience, at least in the past couple of months here, especially to be running neck and neck here with Jackson and Glenn, you know, within 1 lap or so. All the way up into about midway through all of this. So, you know, right now we're at round robin 4 of 8, and she's just giving away about 3 laps this heat. But like I said, down low, it's a pretty tough little run, especially these GRCs as heavy as they are. See Paul Woosley there handing the car over to Jackson to see what's going on here. Maybe has a slip of the gear or something like that. A couple of those wrecks taking place there could cause that. We also have Chelsea currently there on the green lane with her orange and silver sunshine looking car. She was dollying that thing up here earlier with a Black Magic marker. So head over here to the main cam. Of course, the chat is open. Hopefully it is connected. I do not know if it is. But last I checked, Twitch and YouTube were able to perform when it comes to being able to send messages. But like I said, we're starting to see that stiffer competition take place here in the GRC series where everybody's starting to get really, really close with one another, and they're having to push just a little bit harder down low to keep up with each other. Not a whole lot of breaking out taking place here as these motors are starting to get a few races on them now. Starting to slow down just a little bit. The majority of these guys bought their motors already broke in here at Lanes Raceway. So those first few races were really aggressive. They were down below the 2-second mark. Now we're starting to see them fan out a little bit into the 2.1, 2.2 range down low. So, you know, it's kind of a double-edged sword there. So they get a little bit of safety from not breaking out, but at the same time, there might be somebody else with a little bit newer, fresher motor or newer set, fresher tires that's allowing them to get just a little bit more of a tenth or so of a second to be right there on that 2-second breakout time. We just seen Jackson pop off there in Dead Man's Corner as he brings his car around there. He is really flying here on that blue lane. We can see the back end kind of step out just a little bit on entry there and straighten up towards the middle of the corner. That's what you want to see with these cars, is always try to keep the nose straight going around the corner. Jackson at 194, 10 laps down from Glenn Burton, and we're going to see these two battling it out neck and neck. Glenn, of course, having the best lane of his life there so far in the GRC race for 55 total laps there on purple. What a shot. Cassie, of course, only dropped those 3 laps. That was when she wrecked a couple times there. So she's right there neck and neck with Jackson, giving him a little bit what for sure. Chelsea currently running all 4 of her top lanes, so we'll see how well she does as she starts to progress her way down towards the bottom of the track. Speaking of Cassie, we can go over here and take a quick look at what we got. for Cassie. And we can see that Cassie Woosley, this is her series debut, fall 2023. Her car color is starry purple and blue, and she is definitely a promising young prospect for the future series that we have here at Lanes Raceway. Current standing here in the GRC series is 4th place, and the NPs that you see next to the other series is just not placed. So she hasn't ran in any of those series, just trying to get her toes wet here in this race series. As you can see, her number 26 car there, that was the car she started out with. We actually got her another one painted up. I think she ended up blowing the nose off of that car. So pretty cool to see Cassie Woosley really impressing us here at Lanes Raceway, especially when it comes to how much she has progressed just recently. Got about a minute before we'll be right back with you, and we'll see you soon. All right, folks, here we go. 4 red lights going to drop out to a green. And we see Glenn Burton still hanging in there. As we can see down there on the purple and black lane, purple being Jackson, and Cassie just coming off there on the yellow lane. So kind of slowed Jackson down just a smidge, but he makes the pass nice and clean. Right in front of him, we got Glenn Burton about a half a lap ahead of Jackson there with his yellow car. Glenn Burton really pushing all that he can, knowing that it's a little slippery down there on black lane. Keeping it within about a half of a lap, but gaining about half of a car length per lap here on Jackson, as Jackson just not driving his car down quite as deep. As we can see here on the left-hand portion of your screen, the black car there on black, you can see how nice and tight he's keeping his nose, with the back end stepping out just a little bit on the 3/4 exit there of black. We see them now side by side as Glenn makes the pass. The only issue that we have here is that right there. So if you do push just a hair bit more on that 3/4 portion there, it will go ahead and pull your car out. So Jackson, we can see him playing it a little bit safer here as his back portion of his car's coming out about right before midway. You can see the back end slap out just a hair. And he's playing a more smoother game in the hopes that Glenn pushes just a little bit too hard, that he can maybe gain a couple laps on him. So we can see that happen. It's a risk. We know that, but we'll see if it pays off. Right now, the aggressive state of Glenn Burton is definitely paying off, as we see him driving it super deep here on the right-hand portion of your screen, diving it down. That's where he's gaining that extra about half of a car length there. And it gives him a lot of exit speed, too, when he's quicker back on the release of the trigger through the middle portion of the track. So we see Glenn Burton go just a little hair too quick there, too, and he ends up taking out Cassie, or not Cassie, but Chelsea Kirtley there in the dead man's corner. So we see Cassie Woosley there getting put back up on yellow lane through the high banks. She came off whenever the track got pulled. 9 seconds left to go here in the heat. And what an exciting little bit of a heat it's been. It looks like Jackson's already lost about 2 laps there on Glenn Burton. It's Glenn Burton just driving it just a hair bit deeper in the black lane, but causing about 3 wrecks so far this heat. Like I said, sometimes it pays off, sometimes it don't. It looks like this time it ended up getting him 1 lap here as we go to take a look here at the track mate. We can see he did turn an impressive 55 laps. Jackson kind of holding it back just a little bit, staying more smooth, held 54 in hopes that Glenn was going to have quite a few more wrecks than what he did. Cassie, of course, 48s through her lower lane portions there, and Chelsea 47 there on blue. So we take a look over here to standings yet again. We can see that Jackson still holding it down at 1490 current point standings here for the GRC series. The real question is, now that we are over that breakout point, is he going to be able to hang on to it if Glenn keeps getting these wins? So Glenn, of course, has won 2 of the 3 races that he has ran in the GRC series, and he still has enough time if he makes every single GRC race to get his 15 races. And it'd be very interesting to see, being that Jackson, I think, only has 2 or 3 races that he has finished less than first place. So we might have a duke out knockout session here between him and Glenn before it's all said and done, but we'll just have to wait and see. Weston and Carson, of course, tied for 1410. They're still in it too, and so is Cassie with 1320. We're just going to have to need to see a few things to change in the future. Minute and 32 seconds left to go, and we'll be right back racing with you. So we have 20 seconds left to go here in, you can see my headphones broke too. A lot of stuff breaking here at Lanes Raceway. I'm breaking monitors, I'm breaking headsets. I guess I need to quit bully crunching so much stuff here. We can see that the chat is both up for Twitch and YouTube. Cannot get Facebook to work for some reason. But if you want to chime in and have a little 2 cents about what's going on with the race, or maybe future races coming up, because coming up at 3 o'clock we have the Indy. I believe it's on the oval. We have it wrote down as the road, but I believe we ran the road course last week. Nonetheless, right now we have live GRC action here. We now see Jackson down on black lane. Now, this is where Jackson's going to have to turn just a little bit better than what Glenn did, and it's going to be tough, but as long as he keeps his car on, he should be pretty good, as smooth as he ran purple lane. Now, of course, Glenn wrecked 3 times last heat. If Jackson doesn't wreck at all, he probably will turn more than 55 total laps. Now, 55 total laps is what Glenn Burden turned on black, and Jackson's going to have to start aggressively pushing a little bit harder down low to be able to keep up with Glenn Burden. Glenn Burden right now holding it down in the lead, turning 26 total laps so far on yellow. And we can see that he's keeping pretty good pace here with Jackson as he holds up that lead, losing about, I would say, about 3 car lengths a lap to Jackson. But nonetheless, we see Jackson here trying to make that pass down low, and he does a nice smooth transition down on black as they get into lap traffic here with Chelsea Kirtley, and they end up passing her. But we can see here, coming around the high banks, he's able to carry just a little bit more speed because the track's a little bit shorter down on black lane. And that's where he's gaining about those 3 car lengths, is right there on the high banks, getting those pushes here. But we can see that Glenn Burden's really holding it down on yellow lane. He's kind of taking a note from Jackson, running a nice smooth yellow lane, keeping the back end under control while keeping the front end pushing straight. Nonetheless, both of these guys, fierce competitors when it comes to the GRC series, as Glenn makes a beautiful pass on the outside of Chelsea Kirtley. But don't count Cassie out, is she's only about 10 or so laps back from Jackson, and she's going to get her chance down on those lower lanes also. So we take a look over here at the track mate, and we can see Cassie doing exceptionally well here today, in the upper 40s, in the 50s there. Now, of course, we can see that Jackson and Glenn are doing a little bit better. They're pushing a little bit harder, and those lower lanes are pretty tough there on Cassie, but we'll see how well she does as she pushes her last 2 heats here on the GRC Fall Series 2023. Heading over to the player cards here, we're going to take a quick look here at Weston this go about. Now, Weston, he was in our previous series too. He ended up placing 3rd in the 2023 Little Rumble Series, and it placed 5th in the Rookie Rumble that we held last season when we were doing the LMP Thunder Series. Right now, currently, he is in 2nd place in the GRC Series and 9th place in the Ohio Valley Lawn Care Late Model Series. Current position in the 4 Crown Championship is 11th position with 200 points. So hopefully before the series is said and done, he may try to add to some of those points in the 4 Crowns. Heading back over to the oval, we got about 1 minute and 30 seconds left. Going to let you guys take a look at these guys. They get their cars prepared for the race, and we'll be right back with you. and gentlemen, I'll be right back with you. Let me take you to the track mate here. Take a look there real quick. 367, 360, 332, 318. Looks like Jackson and Glenn's pretty close there. Take you over here. I want you guys to take a quick look here at Carson Ross's card. 2023 Little Rumble runner-up. Rookie Rumble 4th place. Currently in 8th place in the Cup Series. 2nd place in the GRC Series. 7th place in the Late Model Series. 8th place when it comes to the championship with 605 total points. We'll be right back with you. All right, folks, I'm back. Had to get with a few customers there, and I had some questions, so helping them out. Looks like Glenn Burden, 417, is going to bring home the victory today. Jackson right there behind him with 412. Cassie with 3 series finale here. Dropped several frames there for some reason or another. I don't know what went on there, but nonetheless, this is Donnie here at Lanes Raceway. Thank you guys for tuning in to the GRC Fall Series 2023 race. Definitely come back and check us out here around 3 o'clock. We're going to have the Indy, I believe, on the Oval. But I need to try to get a hold check on the website. It's broke today, too. It's just a broke kind of weekend. So we'll see how things